Uh, so, Mandip ji, good afternoon to you. How's
Good
life going?
afternoon, Janil. Well, life is going good, although I wanted to have, today a lazy Sunday and just relax a bit. But had scheduled this session, I had to fulfill my commitments.
Likewise, same here. I feel like resting, taking some, time to chill out. But then I feel like let's do podcast on weekends because from Monday to Friday I'm swamped with work. But on
Hmm.
weekends I feel like I should be doing it, whether I should like it or not, because it's kind of now a part of my routine.
So, how long have you been doing this YouTube, this podcast, and all this stuff?
Like the channel itself, I started back in 2019 or it's 18. I'm not sure, but
Oh, way
during
back.
that time, I was creating content about how to teach, like teaching English and all grammar, vocabulary. Then I realized that I was not getting that kind of the kind of response from the audience. So I took it a hiatus from it. And recently, I again started this kind of conversation podcast, and I'm
Hmm.
like my channel is picking up.
It's picking up. So, yeah, I have had similar experience. I started about in December
Hmm.
December 23. That is almost 1.5 year now, I guess. So I was also creating content, on advanced English learning, idioms and grammar and all that stuff. But somehow, wasn't getting the views. And then I also recently jumped into this conversational part. But now I have started feeling like I have messed up the whole algorithm somewhere. So most of the audience is based on, that kind of content. But now I am jumping into this conversation part, and even I'm feeling like I am swarmed and I'm biting off more than I can chew now.
Hmm.
So it is becoming too much. Like I do not know where to focus, whether on conversation part or because that is my passion, the other content that I'm creating. I love to do that stuff. But this is what I guess the audience wants.
Yeah,
Because most
I
of
guess
Indian audience
you
is
can
into this.
you can do both of the things. I guess it's not like that, and people will adjust to you if you are giving good content, be it in terms of teaching or be it in doing this kind of conversations. People will watch it. As far as I'm concerned, my perception is there.
Let's hope for the best there. Okay.
Apart from doing this conversations on Sunday, like what are the other plans for today?
Mainly being a household manager, I really didn't want to get into. There are so many things piled up, so many chores over the week that are piled up for the weekend. So basically, all catering to all the grocery shopping and then doing all the stuff around. And my elder one is having his board exams and focusing on that part
Okay.
also. There is too much on my plate right now. Actually,
Yeah,
even
I
the
wish.
weekends don't feel like weekends.
Great. I guess that's the part of life. I guess trials and tribulations, but it's all right. Nice. And apart from that, how's your YouTube channel? Like Fluency Goals, right? That's the name
Right,
of your channel.
right. So yesterday did a live session and I'm really content with the type of content that I wanted to put across. But viewers, I didn't get any live views though much, but I hope that it will catch up the video replays somewhere. We'll get those views, but let's see.
It's a cutthroat competition, and a lot of people are into this also. Like for us, like sometimes we feel like we are stepping outside of our
Hmm.
comfort zone and we are pushing the envelope. But our predecessors have already done this kind of things. So for us, it's new, but for people, they want always something new out of it. So yeah,
But for
that
you,
always.
I know you have started in COVID time, right? Somewhere around 2018,
Yeah.
19. And I have seen many channels, the ones they started that time, they have really picked up well.
Hmm.
And I'm surprised that why you weren't able to, catch on that wave and you couldn't get through. and didn't build that kind of audience,
Like I
even
was
on.
occupied with my classes, like offline classes. Prior to
Mhm.
COVID, there was no concept of online classes. So this YouTube thing, I didn't take it seriously. It was kind of like
Mm,
a thing for my creative purpose. And
okay.
there are, I guess, there is no justification why my channel didn't grow, because I was not putting the right hashtags, or I did not have any kind of knowledge regarding it. But now I teach in IT company, so those guys help me that these are the things that, sir, you can do in order to elevate your channel. So that's how I started doing it, and I got the knowledge that yeah, I can do this rather than that, and now it's
Yeah,
picking up.
technical
Mhm.
parts, there is too much technical concept also,
Yeah.
hashtags and all. You need to have all round knowledge. It's not just only about
Mhm.
content creation.
Definitely.
And so you're working in an IT company.
Yeah, my role over there is to train all the employees how to communicate effectively with foreign clients. It's a part-time job, and then I teach English offline, online, and on top of that, I work as an English yoga teacher as well. So I take one
Wow.
class a week in the morning.
You have your finger in too many pies, right? So you
Yeah.
are teaching yoga and you are teaching IT employees in communication, training them, and then doing this YouTube also. I must say, it's quite inspiring actually. And it's a great exposure.
Definitely. And I feel like English is ubiquitous, it's required everywhere. So I feel like if I'm getting the opportunities, even if I feel like exasperating or dead tired, I tend to say yes to everything in context of English.
Hmm. Right, right. And you're putting up, where are you putting up in India?
I reside in Gujarat. I'm born
Gujarat.
and raised in Gujarat. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I reside in New Delhi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. And what does your husband do for a living?
He is a banker,
Nice.
so
Great.
yes, a vice president. So
Okay.
he's quite busy. So home front is completely on my shoulder. So
Hmm.
so that's why I recently quit my job. Also, I was also working in a reputed school for 5 months. I was like, but I was enjoying this thing more because it gives me, all the space to focus on my children, my family, as well as enjoy to do focus on my passion as well. So I
Hmm.
recently quit because it was becoming too much. The work hours were like beginning in the 7 a.m. in the morning, and then after coming home also, there was no right to disconnect all the
Oh.
time. I was sometimes training children over Teams also. So there was no time to pay attention to my family. So I quit
Hmm.
it. So now I'm focusing here full time and my household
Even I used to
responsibility.
work in school, but then I realized that it's not a walk in the park, because handling children is a daunting task. And rather, I would prefer to teach to adults, because they realize the importance, significance of English, and we don't have to
Right.
tell them, sit down, be quiet.
Yes,
So,
there are too many cloaks you have to adorn, in order to teach at school level children. It's not just about teaching, you have to do administrative tasks as well, and then disciplining, and there are so many other areas apart from teaching which actually end up taking a lot of your time and energy that apart from teaching, I think everything is happening in school presently.
that makes sense, yes. Although I do have some students who are in second and third grade who comes to my home for tuition also, but it's manageable. But to manage the whole class, I felt like my energy is draining over there. And then when I
Mm,
got the IT job, I felt like, wow, this is something that is worth my time.
right, right. Okay,
And
so I was just going to ask you, apart from all this, what do you enjoy doing? So you told me, I realized that you told me you're into yoga. So what actually inspired you to, start teaching yoga? Were you into it since your childhood, or you learned it later in life? So what was it that actually inspired you?
All
Explore
this
it.
thing, like my concept since childhood, I was always head over heels when it comes to English and being health conscious person. So
Hmm.
after the completion of my 10th grade, I stumbled upon English. I started working towards English, and back in 2018, I joined a free yoga class, and that was a game changer. Then I realized that this is what I should be doing apart from for the sake of my health and mental health and physical health. I was earlier into marathons. I used to take part in marathons. I used to do a lot of cycling. I tried even swimming. I was a great swimmer. But what happens that when it comes to swimming, they put a lot of that chlorine thing. I guess chlorine, or there is a substance.
Those chemicals, they actually ruin your skin.
Yeah, so because of that reason, I quit that swimming part, and I guess I thought that yoga is the ultimate thing. So that's how I stumble upon it.
Okay, okay, quite. So you are physically quite active there.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't want to sound pompous, but I don't consume junk food. I like there are no soft drinks. It's like it's been 5 years. I haven't consumed pizza. I stay away from
What?
yeah.
5 years? That's unbelievable.
And
You know,
I
this
freaking
young
hate.
generation,
Hmm.
your generation, I consider you are quite young in your 25 or somewhere around, if I'm
Yeah.
right. So this generation, I somewhere feel that it is quite poles apart. Either the people are too health conscious or they are completely couch potatoes, the ones who are all the time, consuming junk food and just watching TV and or reels, doom scrolling. So it's quite polarized in terms of
Yeah.
health consciousness,
Mhm.
right?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. And I guess the number varies because a lot of people are couch potato, like you said, and few people are there who are into health sector.
Mm, right, right.
No, I was saying that what are the things that you like to do apart, like as you are a mother of children, I guess you barely get the time. But if you have the time, alone time, what are the things that you would like to do?
My interests keep on changing. I'm very fickle-minded there. So sometimes I will dive deeper into, occult or mysticism, want to learn more about life after death,
Okay.
astrology. And but recently, for 2 years, I was like too deep into it. But now I have, I think I have had enough of it. Now I'm focusing my attention away from it. I like singing. I like singing a lot. But the kind of songs I like, nobody wants to listen to them. They are like ghazals and all. And I also like to play some music, piano,
Oh,
and that is something I enjoy doing. And I like to binge watch a lot of series. My favorites are Suits, which I have
wow.
watched twice actually. Twice the
That's
whole series. And especially, from the language perspective, I feel somewhere this lawyer series, the Lincoln Lawyer and Suits, these have very good language writers. They use so many good expressions, which actually, if we have to learn, we'll never even find them in any
definitely.
book or any portal, online portal, anywhere. But you can actually find them, the natives using them in the language. So I
Hmm.
learned so many expressions from Suits only. So twice,
That's
that's why twice, sometimes I miss, sometimes I catch. So that is the reason I watched that series twice. And these days, presently, no, nothing I'm watching. So barely getting
great.
any time.
You had me at Suits because that's recently I've started watching that series and it's really top notch. It's way ahead of its time, and like you said, even I'm learning a lot by watching that series. I'm really into. I'm a movie buff, so I watch a lot of movies and series on weekends whenever I get the time. Yesterday, I watched a movie called The Gorge, so that was also a great science fiction movie.
Okay. So coming to Suits, I think the characters are very well developed and very versatile, and the Director has also, specially taken the time to develop each character slowly. At first glance, they appear like, just an additional character like Katrina,
Hmm.
Louis' assistant, and slowly they develop and they play a very important role in the storyline and all.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't remember the name of it because I recently started it. But the guy with the mole on his head is really top notch. The way he acts, yeah.
Harvey Specter, yeah,
Ah,
the one
Harvey.
who's playing Harvey Specter,
Yeah.
and Mike Ross, their bromance, especially.
Hmm. But
Right.
sometimes I wonder, like, is it really applicable in real life? People do have this kind of, kind of behavior or demeanor where they can act in such a way and get all the things they want in their life. Sometimes I wonder.
Mm. Actually, I got once I got a chance to interact with a native of US just on some online platform, and I happened to mention this, and I asked him, "Do the lawyers strut around there so well dressed, and the way they adorn their clothes?" And he's like, "No, nothing like that. That is just drama. That is
Yeah,
just for TV.
that's the
Nothing
thing.
like that, actually, in reality."
Definitely. I feel like if a guy behaves like that, he won't be at this level, the level that they are showing in the suits. It's like far fetched. I feel like that. And same thing
Far-fetched
goes
from
with friends
reality.
also. I was reading a book in that, The Art of Being Alone. In that, there was a mention of the series Friends. Like in a world where there is too much to do and too much things are there, inflation, recession, you can't be hanging around with your friends all the time. So it's only a far-fetched idea that you would be having your friends, you will be hanging out on regular basis. So don't get don't have the wrong impression that this should be the ideal life. It's just a
Hmm.
sitcom.
So that's why it appeals to the public. No? It's something
Mhm.
that takes them away from the
Yeah,
reality into the fantasy world, something that we want to have.
definitely. Yeah.
And talking about reading, are you into reading?
Yeah, I'm a voracious reader. I tend to read a lot of books. As of now, I'm reading The Mountain Is You. Sometimes I tend to reread a book because I try to digest the quotes and everything, the thoughts of it.
Hmm.
So
What's
I'm
your
not into.
favorite genre?
Right now, I'm into self-help books. Earlier, I was
Okay.
into novels. So there, I used to read novels by Agatha Christie, John Grisham,
Hmm.
uh, even Nicholas Sparks.
So thriller novels and fiction.
Yeah.
So I have been out of touch. Reading, I barely get any time. So recently, I, leaned back on the book. It was just lying around it, and I had, advised this book, given this book to my seventh grade children, and I happened to read it, Daddy Long Lines. And I really started enjoying it, seventh standard grade book, but I really love it. The language, of yesteryear writers, it is very good and very
Mm.
rich in vocabulary especially.
Definitely.
So there are so many words that I have almost, forgotten, I feel, over the time, and they have gone somewhere into passive vocabulary. So they become active when you read them.
Definitely. Nice. Great. And even
Right.
the way you speak, it's really top notch. I have, done a lot of podcasts with a lot of YouTubers, but your English is also really top notch. I was,
I'm not sure about that because I am not, I won't say that I'm loquacious or I can't talk to people much. I am an introvert, but I try to.
yeah.
I try to have conversation where it is required. So
Nice. And apart from handling all these things, like I cannot imagine being a mother of two children, right? You have two children.
right.
Yes, you are managing all these things. It's not everyone's cup of tea.
Thank you for the compliments. Thank you for the kind words.
Yeah, I would like to ask you about movies. I'm not sure as you mentioned about series. Which was the last movie that you watched?
Last night only I watched this new movie that misses, but it is a Hindi movie that
Okay.
appealed to me, like, mainly because of how women are mainly treated in Indian households and traditional families. So a lot of, the movie has sparked a debate online over Twitter, over X, presently X, right? So I was reading the comments of people, they are like, this woman can't even serve two people. They completely missed the point. It is not about, what she is doing, how she is made to do it. It is not about, she is happy to provide for food to her family, but the way the people around her are disrespecting and treating her just like a housemaid, it's about that. So that
Okay.
really, appealed to me somewhere. So this is the latest that I have watched in Hindi cinema. In English, I have watched Back in Action.
Back in
Cameron
X.
Diaz.
Oh, Cameron
Yeah,
Diaz and Jamie
yeah,
Foxx. Wow.
yeah.
I'm
Thriller.
I'm
I
a
really
big fan.
liked it. I enjoyed it.
I'm a big fan of hers. She is really like exquisite, and the way she acts, her
Yeah.
timing, it's really top notch.
And
And at this,
swashbuckling action there. The children also, their expressions, when once they realize what their parents actually are, that is quite thrilling.
in fact, I was watching it with my mother, and she was like, "Who is this actress? She looks exquisite, like top notch." And I
Mm.
told her that she's around of your age, probably elder than you are, but still, she's like, I
Maintain
cannot.
themselves really well. So
And in
I
the
guess
light of what you were saying in the context of women, I would like to ask you a question on a serious note. Like, do you feel like homemakers are less respected in the society compared to the working women?
I think the times are changing now. Earlier, it was, more of the time I grew up seeing my mother, and I somewhere started feeling like the way she was all doing household chores, everything she was trying to manage everything on her own without much support from people around her, and even we children were a part of it where we wouldn't help her that much. So it felt somewhere now, in retrospect, that we weren't respecting the homemaker job. And now I am myself into it somewhere. I feel that it is one of the most difficult jobs in the world
Definitely.
because it has so many aspects to it. It's not just about managing the household, doing all everyday chores. It involves psychological aspects as well. Even if you have house help, people often, they argue that you get house helps and all, but managing the house help is also in itself a task. So
Hmm.
it should people should have, the way of living it as it's our house, and each of us have to contribute in a way that we can. Nobody can, have all the workload on oneself. Everybody, if they do their bit, then it's good.
Definitely.
And being a homemaker, I think it is a very respectable job there because a person is investing something in the family, the most important thing, their time.
Hmm.
Even after being, qualified, and what they could achieve with that time, it is unfathomable. If the homemakers do not have these responsibilities, they can also go out there in the world and do whatever they want to do and focus completely on their, professions. But it is, the focus diverts into so many directions. But then I'll not say men are very privileged. They also take a lot of responsibility, financially providing for the family. And I think a woman still has a privilege where someone like me can choose not to work and, do this side hustle of YouTube and focus on my family and children. But a man cannot do so because
Yes.
he has to, even if he doesn't like his job, still he goes on the work every day
Hmm.
and tries to provide the best for the family.
Yeah.
Both aspects we have to see.
Definitely. And same, a tedious question, but amidst all these things that you are doing, how do you get the chance to elevate your skills in English? I know that you like to watch Suits, but apart from that, do you do anything specifically?
I like to read a lot online. So
Okay.
most of the time somewhere I'll watch videos and some idea will just come in my mind. Okay, I want to explore this thing. And even if I'm watching any video, any program, my mind is not just listening to that thing. I have always have a notebook with me while watching English series so that whatever new I learn, I jot it down. And even YouTube videos, if any creators I'm watching, my focus is not only on the content, but also I want to learn technical aspect of editing because that is also something that entices me. So,
Okay.
yeah, and all my videos I edit on my own. And if you see, I have grown a lot over a year. If you see my journey, and especially in editing part, the way I present my content, because I think just content is not sufficient. It should be visually appealing to the audience also. So this is how I, sharpen my skills.
Hmm. Okay. In terms of editing, because I'm quite stupid at it because I don't do that much of editing, and I know how to do it, but I feel like it's not really worth it. So I to try to put the whole video organically. I do the
Mhm.
editing part where some things are not necessary, so I remove those kind of parts. But apart from that, I'm not that much into editing. But
That is
after
for
I
conversation. I think conversational video editing is completely different. It comes organic,
Mhm.
right? But the other presentation videos, like if
There I
you are presenting idioms or the 15 idioms or something like that, for presentation videos, you need to provide that, visual appeal to the audience. I believe that is what my belief is.
definitely,
But
yeah. In that case, you are right as rain. I completely agree with you. There, I used to do that. In conversations, I
Mhm.
don't do that much,
Yeah.
but in teaching,
These are, I think, I have felt, the most easiest videos to upload. You just indulge in 1 hour conversation or half an hour, and whatever is not necessary for your viewers, that you
hmm,
can take out and rest
yeah,
goes
keep
as it
it.
is.
Nice, great, great. And what kind of things would you like to tell to the people who are not into reading? As you are an avid reader, what sort of benefits do you see in your personality that you can say to people that if you do this, then it's going to be helpful for you?
See, I learned this language mainly from reading. I read a lot at my school age and college age, but after that, I somewhere dropped. But if you are not into reading, reading is not, by reading I mean the books. But we happen to read a lot over X, let's say, even if social media posts, that also comes under the umbrella of reading. I always suggest people who do not like reading, you can read something like, sports on fashion or articles on that. Even that will entice you, and you'll also learn a lot of vocabulary there. With reading, it happens that you are able to pick the sentence structure and phrases as it is, and they come, and the everyday usage sentence structures and phrases, they are repeatedly they come in front of you if you read. So it becomes
Definitely.
easier by visualizing something. So
Mm,
that for there are different types of learners. Some learners are visual learners, some learners are auditory learners, so some are spatial learners. So for somebody like me who's a visual learner, reading helps. But for people who are auditory learners, they can listen a lot. So if they are able to pick up a lot of phrases and words from just listening, so there they can focus, pay their attention. But then listening, it will help you in speaking and in pronunciation. It will improve everything. But reading, it can help you in improving your writing as well.
makes sense.
Because, yesterday, last evening only, I did a live session on commonly confused words. like there, THEIR and
Hmm.
THERE. So if you listen just there. But
Hmm.
if you are reading, then you come to know, okay, these spellings are different. So this is something, people when they are texting over or they are writing emails, generally these little mistakes they commit in these spellings, and which will never happen if you are into reading actually.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So if you want to improve just speaking, then listening is a very good option, and nothing
Hmm.
can beat it. But if you want to improve on your writing as well, then you will have to read, even though if it is light-hearted reading. So
Yeah.
cartoons, comic books, fashion magazines, sports magazine, kids magazine. In my time, I used to read Reader's Digest a lot. I love
That's.
that.
I still have that. I have a Reader's Digest in that. It's a amalgamation of like 5 to 6 novels in a book.
Yes, all in a day's work and those columns. I
Ah,
really used to enjoy that.
great. Nice.
And it
And
is available on Geo News, free Reader's Digest. I
oh,
still
okay.
see it on Geo News. I still read sometimes, these magazines. Cosmopolitan is available there for women who want to read about fashion and all this. Cosmopolitan, then Reader's Digest, then children's books are also there. Children magazine. So everything is available in your phone for free if you really want to do it.
Yeah. If you want to use it in the right manner or
Yes,
purpose.
right.
Great. And before we call it a day, Mandip, I would like to ask you one more question. What are some of the new things that you have learned about English? Be it vocabulary, idioms, or anything that you can share with me and the viewers.
Idioms, there are many idioms I have learned, but then I keep forgetting and keep coming back to them, keep revising. See, I have this whole set of idioms I picked up from web series and all.
Okay, wow, that's great.
I keep, looking them around and sometimes I
Mhm.
forget some. So flurry of conversation, get off the high horse. If somebody's just bragging about something, okay, would you just get off the high horse there and focus on the
Okay,
task now? And these are some things that I haven't picked up from any web content or but directly organically from the series. So I need to get my
wow.
nerves back in order. This is one new that I really like. If you are not into the right mood or attitude, you say something. I need to get my nerves right in back in order. So
Okay, and
these are the
this
things
was
I'm
all
picking.
from the suits, or it was from
No,
different
no, different,
platforms.
different, different. So whatever, I
Okay.
just keep it handy, this diary. So whenever I watch any series, any movie, I just keep it along with me with a pen and I write whatever I learn new.
Nice. That's how I do it. And on I'm ahead of the curve in terms of that. Like I stick it everywhere in my room. So I'll share the pictures with you, or we'll do it privately. I'll show you my whole room is with idioms and words.
Oh, so really,
Uh,
when you look at it, it's all in the passion. How
yeah.
passionate are you? For me, when I listen to a podcast, especially Mel Robbins, I have started listening, and podcast, the sound quality is also
It's
very
really
good.
great. Even
So
I'm
English,
like
Mel Robbins,
man,
do you listen to
yeah,
her?
the
Oh,
one with
yeah.
the one with the
Yes,
glass.
yes, yes. Her podcasts are really very informative. And the sound of the words spoken, it feels like music.
Hmm.
Sounds and these sounds, they really, I feel very good about. So the sound of English language only is music to my ears. So that is what keeps my passion going to learn more.
Definitely, it's soothing. It soothes your ears, like the way they speak. And I'm also currently doing a course, like American accent. I'm trying to do that. So
From
that's
where are you doing it?
it's an online application called ESLA. So from there, I'm doing
Oh,
it.
Esla. Okay.
Elsa, ELSA.
Elsa. I had a very heavy, Punjabi mother tongue accent.
Ah,
And I worked on it, neutralized it. Now I don't know how I sound now, but still I'm working on several, even the small words go, home.
Hmm.
So even these, I actually focused on all the syllables and learned online how they are pronounced exactly.
Intonations.
Yes, because otherwise, when I was speaking in my Punjabi accent, it would be like home. So we tend to shorten our vowel sounds a lot. So it's
True.
home if
Hmm.
you focus on
Yeah,
accent.
definitely.
Right.
Nice. Wow. I guess we are two peas in a pod. Uh, it's really top notch when I meet someone who has the same amount of passion that I have. So it inspires me to push the envelope, and we'll also share our knowledge. Like once we are done with this conversation, I guess I can learn a lot from you, and I'll also share my
And the
material.
same way.
On that note, I guess Mandip, let's call it a day. It was really nice
Yes.
having a conversation with you.
Sure, the feeling is mutual. Thank you so
Take care.
much for connecting with me. Thank you.
Take care.